Hello students, this is Mrs. Rupert, and today we're going to go ahead and go over distance problems. Distance equals rate times time. This is in the 1.6a PowerPoint in your blue worksheet. So, a person drives a car at 50 miles per hour. How far can he travel in 2.5 hours? So again, we want to find out how far he's going to travel. So we say distance equals rate times time. Okay, so the distance, we don't know what the distance is, so that's D equals R, which is your rate, times time. So distance equals the rate, 50 miles per hour, and we just put the number, times the time is 2.5 hours. So distance equals, and then you get your handy dandy calculator, and you go 50 times 2.5, and that equals 125. So the answer is, if a person is traveling at 50 miles per hour, he travels 125 miles. Make sure you put your units in there, in 2.5 hours. Okay, you could also figure that out by saying, 50 miles per hour, so 50, 100, and then half of that, because it's 2.5 hours, that would be 125 miles. Okay, so that's distance. Now we're going to go on to the next problem on the blue paper, and that is solving for time. Now, because we learned how to do literal equations, we know that time equals distance divided by rate. So that is here as well. Time equals distance divided by rate. A person travels at a rate of 40 miles per hour. How long would it take this person to travel 160 miles? And again, we say time equals distance divided by the rate. So the time here equals 160, the distance is 160 miles, and they're dividing it by the rate, which is 40 miles per hour. So the time equals, and again, we can cancel that out, 16 divided by 4 is 4. So the answer to this one would be 4. Don't forget your units, 4 hours. So it would take the person 4 hours to go 160 miles if they were traveling at 40 miles per hour. Okay. Now, our third problem is to solve for rate. And again, because we've done literal equations, we can see that rate equals distance divided by time. That's the R, and the equals D divided by T. So a person travels 108 kilometers in 3 hours. Find the rate in meters per second. Warning, solution is to be in different units than those given. Okay, so first we want to say, okay, rate equals distance divided by time. So the rate equals, the distance is 108 kilometers in 3 hours. So we can say the rate is 108 divided by 3, and we say the rate equals, it's not 180, I wrote that incorrectly, so it's 108 divided by 3. So the rate is 36 kilometers per hour. And I'm going to go ahead and accept abbreviations, but we're going to make sure we put units down, because that's one thing Mrs. Rupert's super picky about. Okay, now it actually asks for meters per second. I'm going to go ahead and do it here, but it's kind of a higher level thinking problem, but we can go ahead and do it. What we do is we take 36 kilometers per hour, and we're going to convert those units so that we have 1 hour equals 60 minutes, and we have 1 minute equals 60 seconds, and then we have 1,000 meters over 1 kilometer. Okay, and we won't have anything this hard on a test or anything, but I thought I would at least explain it to you so that you would know how to do it, okay? So now we can we could either cross cancel or we can multiply through. I just want to multiply through because 36 times 1 times 1,000 equals 36,000. And 60 times 60, this is 1 right here. So 1 times 60 times 60 times 1 equals 3,600. And if I divide 36,000 by 3,600, I get 10. And what am I left with? 10. They want the solution in meters per second, so we're left with meters because the kilometers cancel out. The hours cancel out. The minutes cancel out. And you're left with 10 meters per, there's only seconds left at the bottom. So that would be 10 meters per second, okay? Now you should be ready to do page 20 in the pink packet. So there's your short little lesson, and once you're done with that, we'll go on to the next one. You rock, guys. Keep up the good work.